Hey, good morning, guys. It's Guido coming at you with a Coffee Talk supplemental. It's Monday morning. You might have been expecting miserable Monday, but we're not going to be miserable today. We're going to do a couple things pretty cool today, actually. We are going to stream from 9 to 12, so I'll see you there. Then in the afternoon, early evening, we're going to do another stream, and this time I'm going to do a charity stream for a organization called Mission 22, which is a veterans organization you may have heard about that is working on suicide awareness. There's a number thrown around, 22 veterans a day take their lives. I think a lot of people think that's directly associated with both Afghanistan and Iraq, but really that number encompasses all veterans across all wars. Clearly, the current issue being the veterans coming out of Iraq and Afghanistan. So this organization was built by 3 veterans, current veterans or new veterans, I guess you want to call it, Iraq and Afghanistan being the primary places that they were. And it's to raise awareness and do several other things to help veterans, give them some places to go, some helping agencies, some ways to get some help if they start thinking that they want to do something like that going down the road to suicide. So it's a pretty good organization, I will say. I looked at it, looked into it a bit. If you want to go to their website, it's mission22.com, mission22.com, and you can start digging around. And any Google foo will let you know that this is a 4 to 5 star charity. It looks like a good portion of their money goes directly into the services that they provide, vice going to the board or to the organization itself. Of course, any organization is going to have overhead. I happen to work with Habitat for Humanity, so I'm pretty well versed on what it takes to run some of these bigger charity organizations. And you can't just simply turn every penny over into the charity. You do have to have some employees doing certain things to keep the charity going, but this one appears to be doing a really nice job with all of that. So I am going to throw my hat into the ring later tonight, and we'll do a quick charity stream for about 3 hours in support of this. It's a 24-hour stream. I'll give you more information when we start the stream as well, but if you do want to look it up, there's ways to donate there, mission22.com. And I will see you later tonight for that. But for today, break, what we're going to do on this video is we're going to talk about holiday ops. That's quite the shift there, isn't it? We're going for something very serious right there into talking about pixel tanks. But let's put our Santa hats on now and think of something a little more cheery. So holiday ops is going, and it started on Friday. And I think a lot of you guys, or some of you guys, may be sitting around going, all right, what am I supposed to do with this? I did see some chatter from some of the newer guys saying, well, I saw this last year, or maybe I started this year, and I haven't seen how this holiday ops thing is going. And it's kind of built up over 3 years. So if you've been here 3 years or more, you have a really good idea of what's going on. But if you're relatively new and didn't really get into it last year, this one is even more expanded. It's larger in scope. So you may be very confused on what you're supposed to do, because you're going to come into your garage and it's going to have all this stuff. Now you can see mine is well lit up because I am at festive atmosphere 10. Okay, so right off the bat, you may be something lower. Let's reverse just a little bit and talk about goals here. There's 2 ways to go about this. Number 1 is to buy a bunch of boxes, or a considerable amount of boxes, and that's going to let you jump up to festive level 10 and start getting the benefits of that very early. But of course, you're going to spend money. The other way is to be more of the free-to-play event, or even if you do have a premium account, you're just not buying boxes for whatever reason, then you're just going to grind it. All right, so let's call it the grinding way to do it, where you're going to get small boxes. There's large and small. The large ones are bought. The small ones are what you get for missions. And then you're going to open the small boxes and start getting your decorations and attempting to get your festive level or festive atmosphere up to 10, which is the max. Okay, so that's the general idea. Either you're going to buy some boxes or you're going to grind it. If you buy the boxes, the idea with buying boxes and getting your festive level up as fast as possible is to make sure you get immediately to festive atmosphere 10 and then start filling in your collection so you can get the 4. There are 4 special camos, one for each collection. Okay, so you're going to get things like, as your atmosphere goes up, you're going to get plus 41% credits. You can see from that box right there, I can actually get up to plus 50%. I'll show you that in a minute. There's a calculation down at the bottom where you have to have enough ornaments in your collections to get up to the 50%, and we'll start working on that. There's lots of ways to do that. So you're either going to collect it and work yourself up slowly, or you're going to get some boxes, get to 10, and then try to start filling in those ornaments. And it's important to kind of have an idea of which way you want to go, because if you buy a bunch of boxes and you're kind of going top down, then there's a few things you want to do when you get to the ornament breaking shards event and how you want to build more ornaments. Whereas if you're coming just from a grinding standpoint, you're just going to keep collecting slowly the best ornaments you can, increasing your atmosphere as you go during the event. And then near the end is where you're going to start breaking the things that you don't need and create them. So the way you're going to go about as far as being the most efficient way to create your different ornaments is more or less the same. The question is when you're going to do it. So if you bought a bunch of boxes and you're just going to make it happen, then you're doing it early. Because the earlier you can get this plus right here up to as close to 50% or at 50% as possible, then the more your games are going to count for plus 50% on credits. But if you're just going to grind it up slowly, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself breaking things early, because you're going to collect as you go, get as many as you can, and then you're going to try to fill in your collections to get the camos. Okay? There's prizes of camos for collections. There are also prizes for getting your festive atmosphere. So we're going to do a little tour of the garage right here and start talking about the different things you can click on and what they mean. I am at Festive 10. I got a bunch of boxes from Wargaming. You can see I have the 703. I have all 4 of the Snow Maiden crew. I have the Special Commander that came in the boxes, blah, blah, blah. So I have all this stuff, but I'm going to show you how all this works. I also currently have 29 small boxes to open, and we'll go through all of that as well. So first things first, let's click on what we have. This is just the standard thing where you can go buy the tank that's been sitting in your garage the whole time. This will take you to the Advent calendar. Remember that this mission, if you did not know this, it's accepted, but every day there will be a new one there, and you must click it to get that mission, and then it will be worth X, Y, or Z. Today's tank is the 432. Remember that you can purchase it with gold, which is a good deal, because if you just got a bunch of gold out of boxes, you can see I've got 172,000 from that, and if I didn't have that tank, I could just easily buy that tank. So I'll be watching for the rest of the event and seeing if there's anything that shows up that I don't have. So that's what that little, I don't know, stand or sign does right there. Okay, you can click on the tree. You can click on what is basically, I think, called the garage, or what, I'll get to it in a minute, but it's this, all these decorations across the top. You can click on the Snow Maidens. We'll get to that in a minute. You can click on this gazebo guy, and then I think there's a tank. There we go. It's called an installation, I think, but the snow sculpture, if you will. Also, the way to get to the rest of this stuff is to click up here on this festive atmosphere. You'll notice there's a different thing down here as well. It says vacant slots 5. We'll get to what that means in a minute. So let's just go ahead and click on festive atmosphere, and we'll bring us into the main page of how we get around through all the holiday op stuff. There's Christmas tree, the feast, the installation, and the yard. Those are the things I just talked about. That's what Wargaming is calling them. Okay. Snow Maidens, you can also get to the Snow Maidens from here. You have, again, the camp up here, which should bring me, okay, brings me right to here. The Deco Rider. The Deco Rider is how you make the decorations that you need. We'll get to that in a minute. Shards. Shards is where you break decorations to get shards. You need shards to build them in the Deco Rider. We'll get to that a little while later. The albums is going to show you the 4 albums. So there is a camouflage associated with completing one of each of these 4 albums. Okay, so completed, there's a camo here, camo here, camo here, camo here. Different from last time. Remember, I said it's expanded. Different from last time, you can see that there are 4 large decorations, which, as far as I can tell so far, do not come to you in any way other than being built with shards. If they happen to be in a Snow Maiden box or in some other box, I haven't heard about it, and I kind of doubt it. But I won't say for sure because I'm unsure, but I think the only way to do them is to build them, and you can see I've done it. The reason I say that this year is much larger in scope than last year is you can tell you can get back to your albums from 2018 and 2019 if you haven't finished them. You can get back to them. That's very important. But you have to be festive atmosphere 10 to do so in order to unlock that. And we'll show you that with the rewards here in just a minute. But the reason I say it's even more involved, look, 380 this time. The first year was only 251. decorations of all kinds. Then it was 313 in 2019. Now it's 380. And you only added 4. Actually, I think you got... No, you didn't. You only added 4 from the large decorations, which means all the other albums have a bunch more because they're now at 380. Another Math in Public, what, 60-something of those? Right? 67. I guess minus the large one, 63. Did I do that right? I don't know. Okay, so as far as the different... Let's see when we go back to this albums here. I'm just going to come back here. As far as the different albums go, when you click on it, it's not going to highlight for me. That's irritating. All right, there's New Year, there's Lunar New Year, there's Magic New Year, and there's Christmas. And it shows you that's the number I have. That's the number total in that collection. So I have 69 of 92. I have 78 of 95. I have, there you go. So I don't have to go through all those. You get it, right? Little information thing right there. Hover your mouse over that and it will tell you where you are with each of the collections. It looks like I am at 43 to 71. And unfortunately, I can't move my mouse away from it. But if you see that, does my hand go all the way up there? No, it disappears. All right. I am at 43 to 71 decorations in 3 of them. And in 1 of them, I've reached the maximum percentage bonus at 72 and more. Okay, 72 and more. Once you get all of those to 1%, you'll see it's 10 times 3.1%. So that'll be 4%. 10 times 4% is 40%, plus 10% for the large decoration bonus. That would give me to the 50% that I talked about. When I talk about the large decoration bonus, that means these guys here, each one of these is worth 2.5, right? So 2.5 times 4 is that 10%. And that's how you get to the 50%. What you need then is 72 or more, so 72 minimum or more of the decorations in order to get to that 1%. You need to have all of the decorations if you're going to get the camo. Okay, all of the decorations to get the camo. The decorations come in level 1, 2, 3, and I got to let this build because I haven't even looked at these yet, 4 and 5. Also remember to scroll because some of them have extra bits on the page. See that? You got to scroll up, scroll down. I screwed that up before. I didn't realize that that was there, and I didn't know that there was a dude hanging down there, and I went, oh shoot, there's one down there that I did not know. So we'll get to how we build these and deal with these in just a minute, but that's how the math all works out for the ornaments. So the second, I don't know if you'd call the second or the main thing, but the main thing that you're doing is attempting to get your atmosphere up to 10. And that is going to be by how much stuff, how many decorations you have on your items or on your parts of your camp. We'll talk about that in a minute. But these are the rewards that you get. When you logged in, you got that little tank, the AMR 35, you got a garage slot. There's reserves. There's a bunch of national blueprints. There's a bunch of universal fragments. So it's nice to get those nationals, especially if you're me, because I haven't been able to get any since I've unlocked all of the various nations. So now I have a bunch of national fragments, and that's very nice. For people still grinding, that's awesome because that helps you burn through some of the tanks you don't like or get on to the next tank. The other thing that happens here is at tier 5 you will unlock, and those are those slots that were down on the bottom left of the screen, and I'll talk about those in a minute, but you'll unlock the ability to put tanks in one of 6 slots, which is going to give them some kind of bonus. We'll get to that in just a minute. Also, as you go, you will unlock the Snow Maidens. Okay, there are 4 of them total. You'll unlock one at 4, 6, 8, and 10. Those will be standing in your garage, and you can get a gift from them. I'll show you that in a minute. Also, you will unlock their corresponding avatar or person or whatever as a crew member, which is a 0 skill crew with at least 1 other skill trained. Those are the ones that I put into the 703 that I just showed you. Okay, so I can show you those as well. There's credit, there's credits, there's all kinds of great stuff. And then down here, remember I said you had to get to Festive Level 10? You unlock your 2018 and 2019 album and lets you finish those if you hadn't finished them, which is a great deal. The other new thing that's in here, which is really interesting, are these anti-duplicator charges. You can get, I think, 16 of these. 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 of them. If I did my math properly, it's 16 or 17, whatever it was. Those are a new feature for this year, which will allow you to not get a duplicate ornament. And I'll show you what I mean. Because in the past, you could need one ornament that had 3 different versions. And when you used your shards to make it, sometimes it would come up with the one you already had. And that's no good because you're using a bunch of shards to create one. And that's a loss overall of shards. I'll show you that in just a minute what I'm talking about. So for 17 times, you can get the exact one that you want. My recommendation to you, whether you are doing the free version or the grind version or the buy the box version, is you are only going to use your anti-duplicators for tier 5 ornaments. Unless obviously you have all the tier 5 ornaments. And even with the amount of boxes I had, I was missing plenty of tier 5s. The reason being is that tier 5s cost the most shards to make. So you'd like to make sure that you create something that you're not going to get a double of, and then you can move on. So don't feel free to use the anti-duplicator, but my recommendation again is use it on the tier 5 as much as possible. There's also some other boxes of stuff. There's a small box. Oh, you get 5 small boxes with that. You get the personal training manual of 850,000. That's really good. So that's the rewards. And then there's the About event, which we'll discuss in their version how all this works. All right, I did say we'd show a couple things. Number 1, these are the slots that you open. Remember from tier 6, 7, was it tier 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, tier 5. You can put a tier 5 vehicle, a tier 6 vehicle, a 7 vehicle corresponding with the festive atmosphere into here. You cannot put premium vehicles, but from what I can understand, you can put reward vehicles. Let's see if we got a reward vehicle. I know I have a tier 9 reward vehicle. So we should be able to put the US, where is that bad boy? Let's look at this, heavy tanks, and we'll go US. Yes, see how I can put the AE phase 1 right there? So that's a reward, not a premium. So you cannot put any tank that gets extra credits, but you can do like Clan Wars rewards, rewards from missions, things like that. Interestingly, I believe that the Emil 1951 won't go in here because it is in fact a premium. And there you go. So the Emil 1951 will not go in there. The Emil 1951, despite the fact that it's a reward, is actually a premium. So there's a little bit of confusion in there. It's basically tanks that do not get extra credits. What that means, though, when you put it in here, this is a heavy. So heavies will get, you look up here at the top, plus 50% to combat experience. So if you're grinding a heavy, this is a fantastic way to do it from tier 5 to 9. You wouldn't be grinding a 10. If you're grinding a crew at tier 10, you probably want to put in like a TD does that the best. But it's interesting that they did that. I wish they would have just given a bonus to whatever you put in there, maybe smaller or something, but you kind of got to work with it. Obviously, lieutenants are going to, lieutenants, light tanks are going to train free experience pretty well. TDs are going to get your crew, SPG's crew, heavy tanks and medium tanks, 50% to combat experience. So really, grinding-wise, mediums and heavies got the benefit out of this big time from tier 5 to 10. You'll notice that there is a cooldown period. You can't just switch them, and play a tank over and over again, or a new tank each time. 30 minutes, basically. So I put the A phase in, one in there. 30 minutes later, I can put a different tier 9 tank into that slot. All right, so that's what that means. Snow Maidens. Let's go back here. Unfortunately, I think I already took my gift, or I would have showed it to you. I did not intend to do that. Once they get put in here, remember you get one, then the other, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Unknown what the difference is here. I don't think there's a big difference. I've just been randomly clicking on them. What they give you doesn't seem to have anything to do with whatever's going on here, nationality or type of Snow Maiden. I don't know. Just break. Why an international company is using women crew as prizes, I don't know. But whatever. It's 2020 wargaming. Come on, man. It's not white knighting. It's just weird. It is. It's just very strange. Anyway, when you click on them, they'll give you a gift. Only one a day, and only one of the Snow Maidens, not one from each one. Which means that once you unlock one, you're probably good to go. It's just you do still want to get to Festive Atmosphere 10, so you can get all 4 of the crew. And when I say that, I'm talking about these people right here. You can see it. So this one, Julia Winfield, comes out of the paid boxes. All right, so you're not going to be able to get Julia unless you get her in one of the paid boxes, one of the large paid boxes. That's the only way to get her. These three are basically those 4 snow maidens, and you can get them at 4, 6, 8, and 10. And then they come with, looks like, that's right, so they are a Brothers in Arms crew with 1 extra skill ready. And I put a book on these guys, which is why you're showing them at 71%. But the commander is 2 skills. It's automatically, I believe, Brothers in Arms and 6th Sense, and then I added Recon, Situation Awareness. And now I've got Recon Training, and I used the book to get to the 72. So that's what you get out of them. Interestingly, if you win the 703, it's the perfect number for a 5 crew 703. And the reason I am doing this is because this is going to train for the 2-barrel line. Okay, it's not that this is different as in you can only use 2-barrel crews because it's just a heavy crew, but it's just another good Russian crew because I'm a little bit strapped on those at times. So that's the reason that I did that. Okay, so we've talked about what is in all of the garage. We talked about that. We talked about the snow maidens. So we'll go back here and let's talk about how you get shards. So the first thing, you need to take unusable or unused decorations and put them into shards. So that actually reminds me, first I need to show you how you decorate these things. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, nope, I don't want to do that. I'll show you what that means in a minute. I don't think I can take these out. I can change it though. Let's say, you can see this is the top. It's the, doesn't say what it is, but it belongs on the top. So we'll just change it to a level 1. You can see that it dropped my festive atmosphere to 9, okay? Because it's a level 1 decoration. You can tell the level because the top left it shows it. Purple level 5s are the best. So I click on that. That's how you do it. You're going to click on the slot. You're going to look at the available options. You're going to pick the highest level decoration you have and fill as many of these slots down here as possible. Okay? Fill as many of these slots as possible. This one here is for the large decoration. Okay, I have brass decorations. Each one of the things, Christmas tree, feast, installation, and yard, has a large decoration attached to it. You can see that yard only has 3 things, installation has 3 things to put in, feast has 3 things, and then Christmas tree has the most. Got decorations, garlands, and presents, I think, is what's going on there. So before we get into breaking shards or anything like that, now that I've showed you how to put them on, let's go ahead and open up all of the small boxes that I have. This times 5 will make things go faster. You can also, down on the bottom left, turn the animation on or off. Okay, so I'm going to go do not show animation. I think this is backwards. It says do not show. Let's see what happens. Is it going to show me the animation? No, it's not going to show me the animation. Okay, so I've clicked on that. Those are the things you get. Here are all the decorations you get. Now remember, when you buy the big boxes, you get an automatic level 5. So you're starting to see why that's good if you're going to do the big box thing and you need gold. We can maybe talk about boxes and gambling stuff at the end of this if I have the heart for it. If I have the heart for it. But if you're getting small boxes, it's very randomized, and you are definitely going to lean towards getting the lower level stuff. These are all 1s and 2s, for example. Then you got credits, you got directives, you've got some consumables. This is even a large, or that's actually a small, sorry, small repair kits, and some credits. All right, so we'll do another 5. This is as fast as you can do it, by the way. 5 at a time, it doesn't get any better than that. Did we get any good? There, we got a 3. So of 10 boxes, there's another 3. We've got 2 level 3. So you can see that with the grindy way, it's going to be a little tough. You're probably not going to find a bunch of level 5s in the boxes, but you're going to have to build a lot of them. Open another 5. Okay, so we're going through there. We got some more credits. We got a couple directives. It looks like a 1 directive of that, so that's not bad. And remember, this is all free stuff, right? All free stuff. So we'll do this again. Anything interesting here? If you see anything really interesting like Days of Premium or garage slots or something in the small boxes, go ahead and throw that down there. But so far I haven't seen anything really fascinating or interesting like that. So we've got some level 3s. I didn't really pay attention. There's several level 3s in this one. I didn't watch the last one, whether we got any level 4s or what. Oh, that's good. So it gave me all 4 of these. I don't have to go singles from when there's only 4 left. Again, it looks like level 3 is the best I did. All right, so I've opened all the boxes that I have. I can go back to Garage, and then let's go back in here and look at shards, okay? So we're going to click on shards. Now, before you start messing with breaking stuff, make sure that you have filled up as many of these slots down here as you can, even if it's a 1, okay? Put the highest level thing, click on it, and put the highest level one you possibly can in that slot, all right? If you see a little red dot on it as you're going through, especially if you're a grinding kind of person, you see a little red dot, that means there's a new one available for that particular slot. So you don't have to necessarily go through all of them each time you open up a new set of boxes. You can go, which one's got new ones, okay? Clearly, I have 5s and everything, so I don't worry about it. The only reason I would change something is if I wanted to see the little graphic change. For example, here, let's find one that has a 5. I think I broke all my 5s, so there we go. Let's say I want to change this thing down here to a pagoda, an Oriental pagoda kind of idea. I can change that. That's just purely to taste. I happen to like the little festive chow wagon thing, so I leave it at that. Okay, but make sure that those all have the highest number shard or highest number decoration possible, so your festive atmosphere is as high as possible. And then when you're ready to start building stuff, what you're going to do is go to shards. All right, these are all the shards that I have that are not being used, all right, you can, down at the bottom, you can select them all or not. You can break them one at a time if you want. If that just thrills you to go, I'm gonna break this one, and you go shards, and you go, yes, break it for 260. Whee, it breaks. Okay, that's pretty painful. I prefer to select them all because none of these are going to be shards that are in your installations. Okay, or not shards, decorations. None of these are hanging on your tree or your yard or your pagoda or anything. These are extra. These are all your extra. Okay, you can see that I've selected them all. See a little check mark, which means when I click this, I'm going to get 5,280 shards. And we'll talk a little bit about what that means to us in just a minute. Displayed, I've got 103, 103. I can also select for the types and the levels. This is only really going to apply sort of to any of you who are trying to do the grindy version of this. Okay, otherwise, if you get all your 5s on there and your festive atmosphere is 10, you don't care. You're just going to come in here, you're going to select everything, and you're going to break it. Okay, I would also contend that if you have done it correctly and you have all of these filled up down here with the highest level decoration you can, then it's not going to matter either when you go here to shards and you go select them all and say break them. And it'll give you a warning, and then boom, let's break all these things. If for whatever reason you want to move your decorations around and make them look different, go crazy. You know, some people just enjoy that kind of thing. For me, I'm talking more about let's grind this bad boy out and do it in the most efficient manner possible. I did mention earlier about the grinding version of this. That's going to be a little more fiddly as you move forward. It's going to be a bit of a balancing act between trying to get your festive atmosphere as high as possible and adding and using your shards early. Ideally, if you really want to get those 4 camouflages, you would just wait till near the end to start breaking things and building things, because you just never know which one of those you're going to get just through the boxes itself. But I think you're probably pretty safe if you early on just start building some level 5s and using and I would just build level 5s actually. We'll talk about that in a minute. I would just build level 5s without worrying about the, whatever that thing's called. What is it? Let's get over there. Without using the anti-duplicator. Because early on, if you don't have a lot of 5s, it's going to be very unlikely that you get duplicates. And I'll talk a little bit about how you would avoid that as well. Another way you can think about it to avoid that. But as you get later on, you may want to start talking about using the anti-duplicator to get yourself some 5s. All right, so now I have 49,570 shards. That's quite a bit. So we're here in the Deco Writer, and it looks a little confusing. I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this without worrying about all these damn buttons and what's going on here. Go to the album, click on the one you want. We're going to go to 5. We're all good here, I think. So I got all those. Let's go to this album. We're going to go to the level 5s, which are the hardest to build. Why? Because they cost the most shards. That's why I recommend when you use your anti-duplicator, you do it on level 5s, unless for some reason you got them all, obviously, then you don't need to. But that way, you do not get duplicates of 5s and use the 1,000 or so shards it takes. That just makes sense. The higher the level, the more shards it takes. So you want to minimize the amount of waste at the level 5. So what I'm going to do is, see that? Just click it. And it takes you right to the deco writer, and guess what? It sets all these buttons up to exactly what it is that you want. Okay, what I wanted was one of the versions of Feast and the little food cart, and I wanted a 5, and I wanted it in this particular collection. That's what this does. This is random. I do not recommend that. You could go level 5 random. I guess you can actually click on that as well, can't you? You can go random here. You can go pure level 5 random. And that's 360 shards. That's not very expensive, but of course, God knows what you're going to get. Early on, that may be a way to go, right? Or if you're the grinder guy and you want to just try to build up some atmosphere, but once you start getting a significant number of level 5s, this becomes less and less of a wise move. Okay, less and less of a wise move. Or you could go, all right, I'm going to do level 5, but I want to make sure it's this collection, snow or whatever it was, but I'm okay with having this random. That's 720. Or you might say, I'll take a 5. I don't care where it's from, but I need it to be, I don't care which version it is, but I need it to be Feast. That's 720. But once you specifically say, you know what, dude, I need it to be, no kidding, Feast, it needs to be the food cart, it needs to be a level 5, that's 1,080. That's as expensive as it gets. And as you remember then, just going back to show it to you one more time, there it is right there. That's the one I want. See, I have this one. I showed you that. That's the irresistible food cart. Looks like there's 3 versions. There's this one, which is Ma's cart, and then there's this guy, which is the Sar Tandoor. Remember I mentioned a little bit earlier, there's some other things to think about. Each one of these has, they're not always 3 different kinds. Sometimes they're 4 or 5 different kinds. Sometimes there's only 1 or 2. You kind of have to pay attention. But the way to find out, the way to get the one you want, is just click on that bad boy, and it'll take you right to it. Yep, he wants a 5. He wants it in this collection, and he wants this guy. Now, the last thing you want to do, if you want to no kidding make sure you get it, okay, I'm going to do it without the anti-duplicator. We're going to see what happens because I've got all kinds of shards. Let's see if we get the whatever that version was. Let's see which one we get. We're going to hit craft. We're going to lose 1,080 shards. It's going to come up. We got it. Lucky. The Sar Tandoor was the one we needed. We got lucky, right? We didn't force the charge. You can see I only have 5 charges left. I've already gone through this a little bit, but I saved a few charges to show you guys how this worked. So let's go back to albums. We're going to watch that bad boy fill in. There it is. It's in there. It does it automatically. You don't have to move anything into your collections. You do have to move them into your camp stuff. Okay? So if I wanted to use that guy, I might go, okay, let's just change it to the Tandoor. What's it look like? All right, that's kind of cool. It's also a level 5, so it doesn't matter. But again, I don't like that one. I like this one better. So now we have an extra 5, which is fine because we filled our collection and we can break it down for shards. And remember, we spent 1,080 on that, right? Let's jump back over to the shards. If we break it, what do we get? 250. So you can see how it's diminishing returns, right? It costs us 1,080. We're going to get 250 of that back by breaking it because we don't need it anymore. We don't have to put it up there because I already had a level 5 for that slot. But you can see that you can eventually run out of shards if you get too many of the wrong kind. So let's go back to the album and we're going to check out some other, I think this was the level 5s I had all of. Yeah, let's go back to this one again. Let's see if we can somehow find a way where we need to make sure. What is this? We got a Zen tree topper and a Korean mask, and we got a roaring lion. That's a sculpture. Oh, that's right. That's how you find out. See where it says 5? I'm pointing at it like you can see where I'm pointing at. It says roaring lion, Lunar New Year, decoration level 5, sculpture. So that's a sculpture. This is a tree topper, and this is a tree topper. So is this also a tree topper? No, that's a pavilion. This is a tree topper. external garland. So there are 3 tree toppers. Unfortunately, this is the only way that I can come up with figuring out how many of each one of these there are. It's kind of a pain. So it does take you a little bit of looking. So here we go. It looks like 3 tree toppers. Well, you know, you might take a chance on that with the random thing and see if you get the right one. So let's see if we get the lady's face. We're going to click on it. It takes us to there. That's the one that we want. Okay? But notice that it's not necessarily going to be the lady's face. It's just going to be a level 5 tree topper from that collection. So let's see if we get it. Do we get her face? Get her face. We did not. In fact, we didn't get the other one we wanted. We got one we already had. So we did the 33% thing. Well, that's painful, right? That's a little bit painful. Let's just do it again. Just see what happens if we maybe get lucky on one of them. There we go. We got one of them. Okay, we got one of them. We're going to go back to the album and see where we are. We come down here. We did get that one. Okay, we got that one in extra. Now we know we want the face. So in this case, I would go, okay, fine. Let's just use the old anti-duplicator. Click on here. It'll cost us another 1,080. Notice that that does not cost us any more shards. It just costs us a charge, and we only have about 17 of these bad boys. Will we be able to get more in missions later in the season? I have no idea. Craft, and we should get face. Come on, baby. It's a bit slow. There it is. We got the face. Fantastic. We come to the album, and we go, yep, we have filled that in. So that's kind of my point about this, the way you want to play this. If I looked at this and there were 3 things and not one was filled, well, clearly the first time you spend 180, you don't need to use your anti-duplicator, right? It will fill up one of the 3, no problem. When there's 2 of 3 open, you might take a chance. But if you burn one and it doesn't work, it might be worth going to the anti-duplicator. If you come to a spot like this where there's just 1, and how many sculptures are there? It's a snow carving. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 sculptures. So really on this case, I think what I want to do is I just want to use another charge. So we'll just make sure we get the right sculpture. We'll blast that out. There we go. Fantastic. We'll go back to the album, and we have... Uh-oh. Ooh, what happened there? Did I not get what I wanted? Wait a minute. I'm going to have to go look at the recording. I don't know what just happened right there. Oh, did I not turn it on? I guess I didn't turn it on. There we go. Now we have... We did not turn on the anti-duplicator. All right. Now it should be filled up. There we go. There we go. What did I get myself? I got myself a different sculpture that I didn't need, didn't I? Let's go to the shards. Which sculpture did I end up giving myself? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, this one. Somehow I gave myself that one again. Now, these are all the ones that I have built. Okay? They're all the ones that filled in my album. I don't need to keep them. Okay? The album and the things that are in your camp as decorations are essentially 2 different things. Okay? As long as you keep your decoration things filled up with your highest level, everything in the album doesn't matter. Unless for some reason you're keeping them to change them around. So I can just basically periodically... Now it looks like it takes 5 of these bad boys before I get enough to break one or to create another one, right? With some change left over. So we'll just break those guys. And that's basically how it works. Now you can see I'm at 44,000 shards. That's, I don't know, 40 or so of those things, right? 40 or so level 5s. But let's take a look at it though, because I'm getting close to finishing my level 5s. Looks like I have actually finished this one. There we go. I finished the other 2. Let's check out this one. How am I doing here? Am I finished? I am finished with this one. So it looks like I've finished all my level 5 stuff. So now I can start working down to level 4. And this is interesting. Let's look at this real quick. This is a pavilion. This is a tree topper. Some of these are singles. It looks like... No, wait a minute. There's 2 here for tree toppers. There we go. Oh, that's external garland. Interesting. So it looks like there's only 1 tree topper in this collection. So you might want to watch for those. That way you don't have to use the anti-duplicator on things that have singles. Let's come over here. This is a sculpture. Is that a sculpture? That's a sculpture. Let's find one that doesn't look like skirt decoration. All right, there's a garland. There you go. Small illumination. Looks like it only has 1 garland. Pyrotechnics. Kitchen. Kitchen. There we go. Kitchen and kitchen. So let's do this, and we'll use an anti-duplicator on this. So it's on. We're on kitchen, and Oh, look at that, how much it comes down. Only 360. Interesting. So we'll just build that dude. And we'll go back to the albums. And we got it. Now, I think, in my opinion, using the anti-duplicator on the 5s to get those knocked out is not a bad idea. Even for me right now, though, I think I'm going to hold off on using it too much on the level 4s. I'm just going to keep on building shards up. And I'm going to go through these a little bit more and just try to get some of these things without, just naturally, just by building them and just a little roll of the dice. I'll have the right item. Let's try this one, for example. Senior Snowman, okay? We want the snowman. It's a level 1. It's only 60. So let's see how long it takes us to get the snowman. We're going to turn the duplicator off. Unfortunately, that thing stays on, so be very careful with that. Coming back to it with it on and thinking you've moved on to where you're going for randoms and all of a sudden you're using the anti-duplicator. So we want the snowman. Let's see how many it takes us to get that guy. It happened right away. Happened right away. Look at that. Okay, that's nice when that happens, isn't it? So if we come up here, let's see. Well, just for grins, try this a couple times. What do we need? We need this canteen thing, all right? So we need this canteen. It only cost us 60. Let's see if we can get the canteen. Oh, that's the wrong one. Try it again. That's twice now. Oh, didn't go. Try it again. Oh, no, same thing. Try it again. There it is. So it took me 3 efforts. 180 shards to make that happen on that one. Come back to the album. How we doing there? All right, let's try this guy. This may be a singular item. I think it is actually. Back to the albums. Are these both tree toppers? This might be a tree topper. Yeah, that's a tree topper. So we just got lucky there. That's a tree. Nope, that's an external garland. Interesting. So there you go. There was only one of those. What is this? Sculpture? Snow carving. Sculpture. So we need the weird head. Let's see. Weird head. Come on, weird head. Nope. We got the little chair guy. Sled, whatever it is. Come on, weird head. Uh-oh. That's twice now. This is where it can start to get expensive. Now I'm just trying to create a level 1. There, I got the weird head. Now I think, really, if you concentrate your builds and your what is the silly thing called? Your anti-duplicator. If you concentrate them on the 5s and the 4s, that's probably your best bet. You can soak up some duplicate builds on 2s and 1s, I think. In addition to that, you're going to get a lot of 2s and 1s through the small boxes, because that's what they seem to be primarily made up of. So as you go through, you should be able to build those pretty quick. You'll see that I'm at plus 44% now. So let's see where I am. I still need to bring, I wish I could see the names. I can't remember what the, New Year. I still need to bring New Year and the one right below it, right? New Year and Chinese Christmas or Lunar New Year. New Year and Lunar New Year still need to get a couple more decorations. So let's see if we can do this before I stop the video. We're going to go, didn't I just get that guy? Is that a different level weird head? I guess it's a different level weird head. Yes, this is a level 2 weird head. There, I got it. I got the weird nugget. How did that do for me? Did I get there? What do I need? How many more do I need? There we go. We got to 1%. So let's now go. Now see what I'm doing, right? What I'm trying to do is, you can see that the snowflake one, whatever the heck it's called, is at 1%. There's only one that's not quite at 1% right now, and that's the Chinese New Year. So I am now on the Chinese New Year collection. I'm down here at the lower levels, just trying to fill in a couple of these, just enough to get it done. So we need that little pagoda thing or whatever that is. Box. Was that it? Yep, there you go. Sometimes it's hard to see exactly which one it is, but that should get me to plus 50%. Oh, nope. Oh, I must have quite a minute. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm babbling now. 68 of 95. You can see that I need 72 and more, so I still need 4 more of these bad boys. So we're good on level 1. Let's go to level 2. Actually, you know what? Let's do 4. And we're going to just use our charges. Why not? That's probably not wise because I haven't done enough research. The reason I say that is I don't want to waste the anti-duplicator on one that only has 1 or 2 things necessarily, because they should be fairly easy to get. So we're just actually going to go to level 2, and take a chance. What do we need? We need this yellow and orange spotlights. All right, let's get yellow and orange spotlights. No whammies. Did we get it? That's yellow and orange spotlights, right? It doesn't really say it. There it is. So hover over it. Interesting that it doesn't say it up here. That got us yellow and orange spotlights. So let's go back to albums. That fills in. Now we need yellow orange festoon. Let's festoon the place with this thing. That do it? Origami. Was that what it said? Did I just, yeah, it said not yellow and orange, it's yellow and origami. And now we need a square candles. Okay? Square candles, no whammies. Come on, guys. Well, look at that. We're just busting through it now. We are just busting through it now. We should be one away, is that right? From getting her done. We've got 71. All right, we need 72 or more. So now we need improved food cart. The improved. It's better than the old food cart. Did we get it? Oh, that's a medium food cart. Wait a minute. What happened? Nope, there's a medium food cart. We need the improved food cart, so that's no good. Medium food cart did not help. Come on, improved food cart. Is that another medium? It is a medium. Come on, improved. It's going to look different than that. Uh-oh. Oh, it's getting me back for all those one-shots I took. Oh, jeez. This is where it gets painful. This is where you lose shards, right? Oh, my gosh. That's 4 in a row. Now it's just funny. Let's see what happens here. Hence, my friends, the anti-duplicator. Because too much of this at the higher tier or the higher level decorations will get your goat. There we go. So that took 5 times. There's a good example of RNG working on you right there. Now that should get me to 1%. If I hover over the eye, all mine are at 1%. Remember what I talked about earlier? 10 times 4%, 1% for each collection, plus 10% for the large decorations, 2.5 each, is a 50% bonus to credits. And we'll just go out and check it out because it's glorious. There it is, plus 50%. You can see by that chart it's maxed out. And that's the best you can get as far as credits go. And at this point then, the only thing Guido is missing from this entire event is the camos. And I've got to just finish the collections for that. All right, guys, that was a lot. I hope that helped you guys out on how to sort of get through the holiday ops. I am quite certain there's going to be a few ins and outs that other people have found out. So please put that down below. Let me know what your strategy is. Let me know if you think any of my strategies were wrong. Excuse me. And let's go to it. Let's help each other get through this as fast as possible. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I do appreciate the support of the channel. I will see you later today on stream. Twice, actually, as I talked about earlier. If you'd like to support my stream and stuff, it's down in the description. However, for today, what I would really appreciate, if you feel in the giving mood, is to go over to Mission 22 and donate to them. There's an easy button there. You can do so. And that's all I've got. We will see you.